Top 10 Most Interesting and Fascinating Facts About Staircases in Medieval Castles. Fact number 1. Most spiral staircases in medieval castles ascended in a clockwise direction, which gave an advantage to the defenders over the attackers. This is because most people were right-handed, and the clockwise spiral made it harder for the attackers to swing their swords, while the defenders could swing theirs more easily. Fact number 2. The spiral staircases were not only designed to favor the right-handed defenders, but also to disfavor the left-handed attackers. This is because most medieval societies considered left-handedness to be a sign of evil or bad luck, and left-handed people were often persecuted or discriminated against. Therefore, the architects of the castles assumed that most attackers would be right-handed, and did not take into account the possibility of left-handed assailants. Fact number 3. The spiral staircases were not only a defensive feature, but also a symbolic one. They represented the cosmic order and the divine plan of the medieval world, which was based on the Christian belief that God created everything in a perfect and harmonious way. The spiral shape was also associated with the Holy Spirit, the Trinity, and the resurrection of Christ. Fact number 4. The spiral staircases were not the only type of staircases used in medieval castles. There were also straight and curved staircases, which had different functions and meanings. Straight staircases were usually reserved for the main entrance of the castle, and were meant to impress and intimidate the visitors. Curved staircases were often used for the private chambers of the Lord and his family, and were meant to create a sense of intimacy and elegance. Fact number 5. The spiral staircases were not only made of stone, but also of wood and metal. Stone staircases were the most durable and fire-resistant, but also the most expensive and difficult to build. Wood staircases were cheaper and easier to build, but also more vulnerable to rot and fire. Metal staircases were rare and expensive, but also very strong and flexible. They were often used for the drawbridges and the portcullises of the castle. Fact number 6. The spiral staircases were not only a part of the towers of the castle, but also of the walls and the dungeons. The walls of the castle often had spiral staircases that led to the battlements, where the defenders could shoot arrows or throw stones at the attackers. The dungeons of the castle often had spiral staircases that led to the cells, where the prisoners were kept in dark and damp conditions. Fact number 7. The spiral staircases were not only a way of moving between the floors of the castle, but also a way of hiding and escaping. Some spiral staircases had secret doors or hidden passages that led to other parts of the castle, such as the treasury, the library, or the chapel. These secret passages were used by the Lord and his family to hide from the enemies, or to escape from the castle in case of a siege. Fact number 8. The spiral staircases were not only a feature of the medieval period, but also of the ancient and the modern periods. Spiral staircases were first used by the ancient Egyptians, who built them in their pyramids and temples. They were later adopted by the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, who used them in their theaters, amphitheaters, and aqueducts. Spiral staircases are still used today in many modern buildings, such as museums, libraries, and skyscrapers. Fact number 9. The spiral staircases were not only a product of the European culture, but also of the Asian and the American cultures. Spiral staircases were also used by the Chinese, who built them in their pagodas and temples. They were also used by the Japanese, who built them in their castles and shrines. Spiral staircases were also used by the Mayans, who built them in their pyramids and palaces. Fact number 10. The spiral staircases were not only a matter of practicality and symbolism, but also of beauty and art. Spiral staircases were often decorated with carvings, paintings, mosaics, and stained glass, which added to their aesthetic appeal and artistic value. Some of the most famous and beautiful spiral staircases in the world are the Vatican Museum spiral staircase in Rome, the Loreto Chapel spiral staircase in Santa Fe, and the Tulip Stairs in London. Thanks for watching.